I'm Kaylin from the Wandering Yoga Room. I'm a 200-hour trained yoga teacher and also took the LSAT in October and February of this year. So the stress of it is something I'm familiar with. Hi, Ben, welcome. So I just put a little bit of info in the chat. That's going to be some of my contact information. I teach private yoga and meditation as well. I try to keep that as affordable as possible. So that is like around $30 per meditation session, about 30 minutes. And that's something else I do is teach meditation and yoga. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely connect with me. I have my waiver link in there as well. So check that out. And just so you know, by participating in meditation and yoga with me, it means your agreement to the waiver. A little bit of legal speak in there for this evening, and we will get started. Everyone is welcome to turn on your video cameras if you'd like. I have my screen down here, so if I'm looking down here, I'm looking at you, but I'll try to keep my eyes up here as well. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get started. So the first half is going to be some meditation and a little bit of information on meditation. And the second half is yoga. So it's going to be some very relaxing yoga, nothing too intense or powerful. So if you're worried you might fall asleep, like I sometimes do, then definitely set a timer or alarm for yourself, and that should be good. All right. But other than that, let's go ahead and get started. So I personally, I guess I'll speak to what has helped me with the LSAT and the stress of taking the LSAT. And that's definitely been that yoga and mindfulness and meditation is a stress relieving practice. It helps me manage my stress. And also scientifically, it definitely has some benefits as well. Some parts of meditation is that it can help with improved concentration and improved focus. Definitely helps with stress management. So we'll be going through a little bit of those skills. It's much more of a workshop sort of kind of session. So yeah, that's kind of all I want to say about that for right now. Meditation doesn't take the place of studying, of course, but it's just part of the whole package. So it's not a cure-all for everything, but it definitely incorporating skills like meditation and relaxation techniques like yoga or deep breathing definitely can help with your study practice in general. So let's go ahead and get started. Wherever you're at, go ahead and sit tall and take a breath. We're going to join ourselves here. If you need to grab anything that'll make you comfortable, maybe a chair, you can sit on a chair or a floor. We're going to be starting out very active tonight, something very to stay focused and to build some of those skills around focus. And throughout the rest of the night, we will be getting a little more relaxed. So if you want to set a timer now before we get started, that's great. And otherwise, we'll go ahead and jump into it. If you're just hopping on the call, I will throw my information and my waiver link in there in the chat room. If you see it, go ahead and check out that waiver before we get started and know what you're agreeing to. All right, so welcome everyone. Thank you for joining me tonight. It's so great to be here, and I'm glad that I got to connect with your LSAT community. And wherever you're sitting, go ahead and take a breath. Inhale all together, and exhale, let it go. And just bring a little awareness to wherever you're at. This first part of meditation is going to be meditating to improve our skills around focus and concentration. So bring awareness first to your body, where it is sitting in space. You might notice your feet on the floor. You might notice your sit bones, your shoulders. Maybe they feel heavy. Your hands seated on your lap or next to you on your sides. Maybe you even notice the air coming in and out of your nose. We'll bring a little silence to the evening, slow things down a little bit, and just begin to notice the space around you. Take a couple of inhales and exhales. Bring your awareness now to the feeling of air moving in and out of your nose. Follow this air through your nose, down the back of your throat, and into your lungs. And then back out of your lungs, up and out of your throat, and exhale back out your nose. Continue this process. Count one inhale, and count your next exhale. And continue that breathing like that. One inhale, one exhale. Notice things slowing down around you. Maybe your breath is slowing down. Maybe your mind is getting settled down from the rest of the day. Whatever it is, just take it easy. If you notice your mind starting to wander this way or that way, just bring it right back to your breath. And let your mind focus on those inhales and those exhales. You can count one inhale and one exhale. The practice we're doing right now of using our minds to stay focused on one thing is a practice of concentration. It can be difficult. Our minds might wander onto different thoughts, different happenings from our day. Just remember that this is completely natural, completely normal thing your mind does. And that's okay. Without judgment, bring your mind right back to your breathing, to your breath. Turn off all those other distractions around you. And if you notice any distractions, these are things that happen. Again, bring your mind back to the breath. As you breathe, this builds those skills of concentration. It might be difficult at first. You might do it 1 or 100 times while you sit here and meditate. But that's why we call it a practice. And whether you do this 1 or 100 times or 1,000 times of just bringing your attention right back to what you're doing in the present moment, it's all okay. Because you're going to continue to build those skills. And that's the important part. So we'll stay here now for a couple moments in silence. Building those skills of focus and concentration. Your mind can be almost as if it's watching cars pass on the road. And these cars might be your thoughts. You don't have to chase every car or every thought that comes along. Sometimes it's better to just sit and watch them pass. So if you find a thought coming through your mind, acknowledge it for what it is, simply a thought. And release any grip on it. No need to follow it or chase it anywhere. Just let it go, as easy as an exhale. And stay here a few more moments in silence, practicing releasing our grip on our thoughts. Continue to follow your breath in and release your exhales. Let them go. We'll begin to transition into a little bit of a different practice now. So begin to deepen your breath. You can leave your eyes open or closed, but remember your space in the room. Reconnect with that space. And now we'll practice a breathing technique that can be good for high stress situations. So, for example, if you're taking the LSAT or anything else that might be stressful, then you can incorporate this into your mind and your body to help you find a little more immediate relaxation. So it's a practice. So it's good to practice it when you're not very stressed out. That way you can build the skill of it. So we'll begin by sitting up nice and tall. Take a nice big inhale and an exhale. And now bring your attention back to the breath. The breath is something we always have, and it's a great tool to help with our minds and our bodies. You can use it in sports as an extra way to enhance your performance, or in things more simple like mental challenges and tasks and emotional things, where the breath can help calm us or help us get through things that are difficult. So we'll be using our breath in this practice to help with high stress situations. So first take your inhale, and on your inhale, count to 4. These can be paced at your own pace, whatever you choose. And exhale for 5 seconds or 5 counts, whatever you choose, however you choose to pace it. Inhale for 4 and exhale for 5. Inhale for 4 and exhale for 5. Notice if your breath is in your chest or maybe deeper in your belly. Invite in that deep belly breathing. This sometimes is a little more relaxing. Inhale deeply into your belly for 4 and exhale for 5. And once you feel calm here, take it up for an inhale for 4, but now an exhale for 6 counts at your own pace. And once this starts to feel normal, you can take it up to 7. As we stretch out the inhales and the exhales, this is a trick to kind of bring a little more relaxation into the body. As you inhale, there's kind of stress building, and as you exhale, kind of release a little more of that stress. And the longer the exhales, the more we can find our body relaxing. So when you're comfortable at 6 counts for inhales or for exhales, and bring it up to 7. Inhale for 4, and then exhale for 7 counts. This is one way to slow down your breath. And when you slow down your breath, sometimes it helps our minds and our bodies to also slow down and move into more of a relaxed state. This is something you can practice whether you're moderately stressed out or experiencing some high stress. So wherever you're at, these are ways you can use your breath to bring more ease into your life. Take another big full inhale and then let it go. A nice long exhale. And we'll begin to transition into a more active part of the evening with a little more yoga and a little more movement. So I'll give you some time to find some space. You won't need too much space, but as long as you can move around comfortably and have enough space to lie on the floor, that would be great. If at the moment you have any questions, burning questions about meditation, you can throw them in the chat, or if you're just ready to get going, find some space and we'll get started in a minute. And if you have something, blankets or pillows around you that'll help you feel more comfortable, go ahead and do that. Grab those, anything to keep yourself warm. So as we slow down and get a little more relaxed, sometimes people find it get cold. So it's nice to grab those things beforehand. I'm just checking the chat. Cool. So hopefully you are all set to go. We'll get ready to move into some yoga and a little more relaxing movement, and then some deep relaxing stretches and poses. So get ready for that. Again, if you need to set an alarm for yourself, if you don't want to fall asleep right now, I definitely encourage you to do that because that can sometimes be a challenge. We'll get started seated. So wherever you were at, ideally on the floor. So something like we started here before, bring attention to where you're sitting in space. You can be cross-legged. You can also sit on a blanket or a pillow to lift your hips a little bit higher. This helps if you have tight hips. Just make yourself comfortable. Nothing too formal this evening. The focus is really on self-care and relaxation. So find whatever space or variations of poses that make you feel the best. Whether that means, bending your legs more in a stretch or taking something a few steps back. Do what you need to feel comfortable and safe in this practice. So let's go ahead and get started. Take an inhale and lift your arms up above your head. And on your exhale, move your arms back down your side. Nice big breaths. Inhale, arms up, stretch up. Exhale, we're breathing with our whole bodies right now. Inhale, reach your fingertips to the sky. And exhale, your hands down alongside of you. We'll bring a little movement into our spine. These next few poses you can always do in a chair. So whether if you're getting started to take a practice LSAT or whatever you might be doing and you're seated at a desk, these are good things to bring a little movement into your body and maybe help your mind feel a little more relaxed too. So walk one hand over to the side. Reach the other hand up and over your head. Start out nice and gentle here. You can bend your elbow a little more if it's a little bit of a strain on your shoulder. Find any sort of bends or releases maybe that feel comfortable for you. If you're feeling good here, you can always walk your hand out a little further. Option to drop your elbow to the ground and reach all the way to the side. Here you can think about pressing your hip into the ground and stretching all the way through those fingertips. Be sure to breathe deeply in and out, especially into your open lung on this side. Nice big inhales and exhales. We'll make our way slowly back to center. Use your other hand to walk yourself back up. Drop your hands to the ground. We'll take one of those big body breaths. Inhale your arms up. Exhale them down to your sides. And then walk your other fingertips out to the side. Start off nice and gentle. Other hand up. We'll be taking it slow tonight. And tonight is about you, so take anything, change anything to make yourself feel the most comfortable. Bend that elbow if you need to. Or walk your fingertips out a little further. Continue to press into your hip and reach all the way up through your top fingertips. You can drop that elbow to the ground if you'd like. Stretch nice and long. Breathe deeply. Next inhale, come back to the center. Inhale your arms up. And exhale them down to your sides. I'll turn to the side for this one, but you can stay wherever you're seated. We'll take some seated cat-cow positions. This is some curving and bending of our spine forward. So first, hold on to your knees. If you're seated, you can also do this in a chair. And draw your chest forward, draw your shoulder blades back together. Look up towards the sky. And you can bring your stomach forward over your legs. And on your exhale, curve forward. Look down towards your belly button. And inhale back upward. So move through your whole spine. Exhale, curve. And inhale. Look back up. to your seated cow pose. Big inhales, exhale, seated cat pose. Move all the way from the top of your head to the base of your spine. Incorporate your shoulders, your shoulder blades, all parts of your back. And if you want to stay in one of these positions any longer, just hold it, but don't hold your breath. Wherever you're at, keep breathing. If you want to hold one of these, it's all good. Otherwise, move with your own breath. Take one more round if you'd like, and then find a nice neutral spine. Join me back at the front. Inhale your arms up. And this time on our exhale, we're going to twist to the side. Take one hand to your knee. If you're on a chair, make sure you brace yourself on your chair. Careful to not fall out of the chair. And twist your spine. You can even look over your back shoulder if it's comfortable for your neck. Take a few deep breaths. On your inhale, think of lengthening out through your spine, sitting nice and tall. And on your exhale, you can think of gently twisting a little further. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, twist. Inhale, back to center. Take your arms up and over. Exhale, we're going to twist to the other side now. It's a lot of moving with our breath here. These are nice moves that you can do seated at a desk anytime you'd like. Even just bringing awareness to your breath can help with some stress. Bring a little relaxation in. Look over your back shoulder if it's comfortable. Inhale, lengthen out through your spine, and exhale, twist. Inhale, both arms up to the sky. And exhale them down by your side. We'll move into tabletop position. So if you're still seated on a chair, now is the time to move to the floor, or you can find a modification for these moves in a chair. That's also totally acceptable too. Do what is best for you this evening. And if you're joining me on the ground, we will make a table out of our body. So stack your knees under your hips and your shoulders on top of your wrists. Bring a little awareness into your spine. Think about holding or pulling your belly button towards your spine. This is going to engage your core. Your core is so powerful and so important to all the things you do in a day. And using our core, we can support ourselves, put a little less pressure on things like our shoulders or our legs, when we're supporting ourselves from these strong muscles in our center. So from here, take an inhale and lift one arm up towards the sky. Think about twisting your shoulders so that one shoulder stacks on top of the other. Reach your fingertips up to the sky. And then we will thread the needle. So take your arm that's up right now and bring it between your leg and your other arm. We're going to cross it under. And for this, take your shoulder down as far as is comfortable. You might find your shoulder comfortable on the ground with your cheek on the ground as well. You can keep your hips stacked on top of your knees if that's okay with you. Brings a little bit of a stretch into your shoulder and into your arm. Take some nice deep breaths here. And on your exhale, press your hands into the ground. We're going to unwind this. Nice big breath. Open up to the side. Just a little counter stretch. And then hand back down to the ground. Return to your tabletop. And we'll do that all on the other side. So these are just little things to help us get moving, get our spine incorporated. Lift your arm up to the sky. Think about stacking one shoulder, top shoulder on top of the bottom shoulder. Doesn't have to be there, doesn't have to be perfect, but think about it. And then we're going to thread the needle on this side. Take it under and across. Take your other arm down as far as is comfortable. You can find your shoulder and your cheek on the ground. Notice a stretch here, or maybe not. The important part is to get this body moving and then press into your hands. We're going to counter stretch it out. Reach your hand up to the sky and then back down, tabletop position. And now we'll move into a little bit deeper stretches. So come to kneeling. And if you have sensitive knees, go ahead and grab a blanket or a pillow that you can put under your knees, whatever you need to make this the most comfortable it can be. And I'm going to have you step one foot forward, whatever foot you like. And we'll come into a low lunge. You can take your hands to your knee and stretch it out, or you can keep your hands on the ground. You might notice some tension here in your front hip flexor. Wherever you're at, it's all good. Move into what feels the most comfortable for you, whether that's hands down at the side or your hand on top of your leg. We'll bring a few mindful breaths in. Bring back that practice of concentration or focus. And let your eyes, this is when it gets really, really intense, even let your eyes focus on something unmoving out in front of you. And we'll wind out of this. Take your hands to your side. We're going to walk our hands back towards our back foot and straighten out the front leg for a half split. So I'll show this from the side. So you might find if you have books next to you, or you can put a little bend in your front leg, whatever is good, and fold your chest over your front leg. So this is stretching out your hamstrings. You can keep your bend in your knee or gently straighten it out. Whatever you do, try to not hyperextend it. And if you're feeling good here, you might even want to try flexing your toes up to the sky and then pointing your toes. So this moves into the front of your shin, muscles in front of your shin and your calves as well. So it's really the full experience in your leg, getting a lot of stretch, or just find something that works and hold it. Stay here for a few more breaths. And then walk your hands towards your leg. We're going to take this foot gently back into our tabletop. And we're going to do that all on the other side. So find your knees. And then we're going to take that other foot out in front. So other foot is out in front now. And we'll find our little lunge. So hands can be framing your foot, hovering your chest over your front thigh, or option to take your hands onto your thigh and stretch upwards towards the sky. Wherever you're at here, keep breathing. This is another practice of concentration. So if your mind is wandering everywhere, just bring it right back to what you're doing, the here and now. You can let your eyes be an extra little aid in that. Sometimes when our eyes dart all around the room, we might be focusing on everything. But when we find stillness in our eyes, this can also bring a little stillness to the mind. It can be hard sometimes, but it's another practice. Take your hands back down to the floor. We're going to walk our hands back to our back leg for another one of these half splits. So start off nice and gentle. Remember your sides, right and left side might be different. So make any allowance or non-judgment. Bring a little compassion in for your body and where it's at tonight. You can always keep that little bend in your front knee or straighten it out. Just be gentle on your hamstrings. And then you can flex and point your toe if you want to take it a little further. Wherever you're at with it, just keep breathing. Notice what muscles you feel working here, working or stretching. You can hold one or the other. And now let's walk our hands back towards the front, back to the lunge. And we're going to unwind out of this back into tabletop, just a quick tabletop. And we will make our way gently onto our backs for some hip stretches. This can also be done in a chair as well. So if you're seated, sometimes people like this in a chair too. But for now, we'll stay seated and possibly make our way to our backs. You can take your hands back behind you. And we'll make a figure 4 with our legs. So take one foot and cross it on top of your knee. And so knee is on your opposite, or foot, the ankle is on your opposite knee. Flex through those front toes, the top toes. This flexing helps protect your knee so that if you feel any weird pain or twisting in your knee, definitely back off of it. And take it a little more gently. And if you're here and you're feeling good, you have a few options. One option is to use your hands to press your torso a little closer towards your legs. Another option is to walk your foot in towards your body. And that last option is to gently make your way onto your back. And from here, you can reach from one hand out to the side, and the other hand comes up and through. And you can grab your thigh and pull it towards your chest. You can use your elbow to also press that knee out as well. Hopefully that makes sense. So if you're on your back, you can think about pulling your thigh inwards and continuing to press that knee out to the side. Flex through your front. And if you notice any pain in your knee, definitely back off. Find something a little more gentle. Take a few breaths here. You might feel this in your hips. You also might not. And whether you're feeling it or not, that's okay. Sometimes We can do things and we might not immediately know or see the benefits, but that doesn't mean there's nothing there. We'll gently make our way up and out of this, slowly unwind those legs, and we'll take that all on the other side. So starting the same way with figure 4 on this side or the other side, whatever foot was not on your knee. And start with that ankle on your knee. Flex your toes back. Be mindful of any pain in your knees. Take a few breaths here. Bring awareness to your other side of your body. Notice if there's anything different. If there is, that's totally okay, totally natural. A few options here. One is to walk your hands towards your body. The other one is to walk your foot in a little closer. And the last one is to make your way onto your back. This one, grab around your thigh and pull your thigh in. Whether you're still seated or on your back, continue to flex through your foot. And we'll hang out here, and I'll give you a little bit of silence this time to focus on your own breath, to relax a little more deeply into this pose. And if you find that mind wandering, compassionately bring it back to the here and now. You can use your breath or your eyes to help you do this, to help ground you here in the present moment. Gently unwind out of this. Take your legs to the floor. Join me on your back if you're not yet there. And drop your knees from one side to the other, nice and gently. Just bring a little movement to your low back. And then we'll sit up and do some forward folds. Forward folds are great ways to get into our space a little more. They're good for stress or if you're about to go to sleep. So we'll begin by taking both legs out in front of us. Notice how your legs and your hamstrings are feeling for just a moment. You can point and flex your toes. And then we're going to go ahead and bring one knee into the chest. You can leave your foot on the same side as it is, or you have the option to take it up and cross it over. It's a little more of a twisted position here. Hook your elbow around, and we're going to twist. So this is kind of like the twist we did in the beginning, the seated twist. And you can look over your back shoulder if you'd like. This twist is working a little more into our hips now. And keep breathing here. And then we'll find our way back to facing forward. Take your leg out, and we're going to drop it to the side. So this time it's like our legs are in a tree pose, but we're sitting on the ground. Sole of the foot is into the side of your thigh. Sit nice and tall, so square your hips onto the floor and take a big inhale, reach up. And exhale, we're going to fold forward first hinge at your hips. And on your next exhale, we're going to fold, curve your spine as far down as is comfortable. You can take your hands to your knee, to your ankle, to your foot, whatever is comfortable for you. You can point and flex those toes. And I'll let you know when we're getting up and out of this pose, so don't be afraid to let your eyes settle down towards the floor and to get into your own space a little bit. I find, especially when my eyes are settled onto the floor and I'm folding forward, brings me a little more calmness, helps me get away from the craziness of whatever's going on in the outside world. Always have the option to put a bend in your knee. And then walk your hands back towards your body, straighten both legs out in front of you. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So take your other knee into your chest. You can keep it on this side of your leg or go ahead and cross it over for a little more of a twist. Wrap your opposite arm around your knee, and we're going to twist this time to the other side. Just like in the beginning. Twist in the spine, but this time it's working a little more into our hips. On your inhales, lengthen out through your spine, and on your exhales, twist a little deeper. Another couple of breaths. And we'll make our way back to center. Take your hands and move your leg to the other side. If it's not already there, we're going to drop it down. Sole of your foot into your thigh. And we'll begin by reaching up. And then exhale, first hinge at your hips. Take a breath in. Next exhale, let your body fold forward. Hands to your knees, ankles, foot, whatever have you. You can always put a little bend in your knees as well. Let yourself enter your own space. Let your mind begin to slow down, your body begin to slow down. Do whatever you need to feel comfortable here, and I'll let you know when we're coming back up and out of this. Next breath, walk your hands back towards your body and stretch both legs out in front of you. We'll take our last forward fold, arms up, with something to even our sides out. And this time on your exhale, just fold all the way forward. You have two options here. You can either continue to press the backs of your knees into the ground, get a stretch in your hamstrings, or take a nice gracious bend in your knees. Reach forward towards your toes, grab your feet, and think about pressing your low belly into your thighs. Sometimes this stretches out our low back a little bit. Be nice and gentle, especially if your low back feels tight. So one of two options: knees bent, stretch your low back, or just focus on your hamstrings and keep those legs nice and long. Walk your hands back up to your body, and we'll make our way to the ground. Find your back on the ground. You can hug your knees into your chest. Nice big hug. And then take your knees down to the floor, or feet down to the floor. And you can find Supta Baddha Konasana. The soles of your feet are together and your knees are flayed out to either side. You can take your hands out to the sides as well. You can take them up and over your body. Or you can take one hand to your belly and the other hand to your heart. This position helps you listen a little better to your breathing. So find what works for you in your hands. And this pose is quite relaxing. So don't be afraid to let your mind focus. Your body relax as well. On your inhales and your exhales, let your shoulders relax and melt into the floor. And we'll move into our final resting pose. Take each leg long out in front of you. Face your palms upwards towards the sky. This is the final pose of Savasana. Let your shoulders relax into the ground. Everything else relax into the floor. You can move your awareness from your feet, through your legs, your torso, your arms, your mind, your head, and your breath. And invite everything to relax. I'll stay here just a few moments in silence. When you feel ready, take a deep inhale and exhale out your mouth. Bring small movements into your fingers and your toes, your hands and your feet, and your wrists and your ankles. On your next breath, lift your arms up and over your head, stretch out long on the floor, and then curve onto your side, and we'll gently make our way to seated. And we'll close this evening as we traditionally close yoga practices by honoring the life and the dignity in each and every one of us. So if you feel comfortable, you can take your hands to your heart center and join me by saying Namaste. All right. Thank you all for joining me. I will stay on for a couple minutes. If you have any questions, you're very welcome, Ben and Marcos. I hope you had a good night. And yeah, you can always connect with me on. You're very welcome. Thanks, Kim. Perfect. Yeah, and you can connect with me on Instagram or Facebook or any of that. So reach out if you have any questions, and I'll just stay on the line if you need anything. But other than that, drink some water, have some tea, get some good sleep tonight, and good luck on your LSAT.
Thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already to be notified of new episodes as I release them. and feel free to reach out if you need anything at all as you move forward with your prep. I'm happy to help however I can. In the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.